everybody, this is Helena. Welcome to my live video with Adrian Everhart on the truth about how men fall in love. We're also going to do Q&A, so feel free to type in your questions. And Adrian, if you're here, just feel free to do a comment and I'll add you to the broadcast. There you are. Okay, let's see. I'm inviting Adrian to the broadcast, and I think it's working this time.
Hi, Helena.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Can you see me okay?
Great. Yes. Can you see and hear me okay? I'm not sure what happened that first time. I'm going to share this to my page real quick before we get started.
I will do the same.
Okay, great. So today we're going to be talking about the truth about how men fall in love and stay in love, which is such an important topic. It's something I get asked about all the time. Adrian, I know you do as well. And we're just so excited, and we're going to be doing Q&A too as well. We had one question sent in beforehand, and I see some people joining, so feel free to type in your questions and
I have several
comments.
questions as well. I have several questions
from
good. Clients as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Let me just share this to one more page, and then we can get started. I don't know why my internet is so slow today. There it is. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I'm having just a little bit of a challenge too, so.
Might be something on Facebook.
Probably.
Okay, there we go. So while you're still sharing, I'll just kind of introduce this topic. So hey everyone, we see you joining. Feel free to type in your questions and we'll be sure to get to everyone's question today. We're really excited. We love doing that. So we're going to be talking about the truth about how men fall in love. And if you've seen some of our other live videos, we've talked about how men really fall in love with us for our vulnerability and our emotions, which is a little counterintuitive. It goes against what a lot of us have been taught when it comes to love and relationships and men. Right, Adrian?
Yeah, I thought that I was supposed to tell them what I thought they wanted to hear. You know, I thought that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just want to kind of kick off this topic, and let me make sure I can see people. Oh, hi everyone. Okay, now I can see the comments. So type in your questions and comments, and thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. We love seeing all of you here. So, I just want to start off this topic with a little story and a brand new kind of tool or tip that
Adrian. Thing? Also, this is a little bit of a preview of what our class is like. So if you're on the fence about the class, we have just 5 seats remaining. And, Helena and I will look very much like we do right now. It's a split screen. And we share topics. We actually have a course work prepared and course guide work prepared. We follow it. And we teach you tools. We take your Q&A during and after the class. A lot of you have coached with us before, and I just wanted to add that if you decide to do the class, it's a lot more economical than coaching with us one-on-one, and it is very specialized. It's very specialized. So a lot of times when you coach with us, we're kind of just jumping in wherever you're at, and we're telling you, how to save you in that moment. So this is really work that's going to go deeper into different areas, such as leaning back. A lot of people think leaning back means you don't ask questions. You don't ask questions and you don't interact with the man. And you're just dead wrong. And so we want to debunk some of these things, but also just teach you how to get that tight bond. Be bonded with that man. So he's right here and you have it, no doubts. Okay, I just wanted to add that in to make sure everybody knew this was the class.
Thank you so much. And so, of course, if anyone has questions about the program, and it's completely private too. It's not on Facebook. It's on our own private system, so you can be completely anonymous. You can use a fake name or a screen name, and we won't be, using your names when we're answering your questions, but so it's very personalized and so much cheaper than private coaching. So if anyone is on the fence about that, feel free to message or email either one of us and we'll answer all your questions. So oh, hey everybody. Hey, I don't want to use any names in case we post this somewhere else, but it's so great to see you all here. Thank you for your comments. So the first little tip I want to just share that I've never really shared before, we're always trying to come up with new material and tools that we haven't shared in some of our other videos, is this idea that men love about us what we love about ourselves. And that's a little different spin on what we normally talk about, as men often fall in love with us for our flaws or what we perceive to be our flaws and our vulnerabilities. But that's absolutely true. But men absolutely love about us what we love about ourselves as well. So for everyone watching, feel free to type in some things that you love about yourself and see if, you know, that's something you get complimented on with men, whether it be you have beautiful eyes or you're really smart. Those things are great. So what we're working to do in some of this material is to love all the parts of ourselves, you know, even the ones we don't want to necessarily show to the world, because that is how men fall in love. So before I was familiar with this work or really even in touch with my feelings and emotions and those like icky parts of yourself you don't want to face, I would attract men who would say things like, what I love about you is that you're so logical. And because I was, and I thought that that's what men liked, right? And I still do have that logical side, absolutely. But I wasn't in touch with that other side, that feminine energy, juicy, feeling filled side. So I would attract men to say, oh, you're so logical. Some women are just so emotional and crazy, and right? So of course, if I showed even a hint of emotion to those kind of men, it would totally turn them off. They weren't interested in that other side of me because I wasn't interested myself. I didn't want to face that side myself. So once I really started getting comfortable with all these parts of myself, I started attracting men who loved all those parts of me too and who were really interested. I shared in the last video that one time a man told me that he fell in love with me because he got to know me and I just seemed like someone who needed to be loved or who really wanted to be loved. And you know, here I was my whole life trying to portray myself as super independent and smart and logical, didn't really need a man. And being independent is great too, but you know, this work is about developing that other side of yourself that we don't necessarily love. So we start attracting men who love all of us, not just those parts we want to show to the world. So that's the little story I wanted to kick off this topic with. Adrienne, I'm sure you've probably had similar experiences as well, I imagine.
Yeah, it's the very things I was trying to stuff down about myself that when something would happen and I'd have a moment where it would just come out of me organically, I would realize that me and the guy grew together closer. Well, it doesn't have to take some traumatic event in your life to make that happen. You know, so often we hear about it like, oh, I got in this car accident, or oh, I got really sick, or oh, a pet of mine was sick and he was there for me and we got so close after that. So it doesn't take these big traumatic events or a lot of drama to build that sort of really strong, safe bond with a man. So what is a man looking for? A man is absolutely looking for a woman who can hold his heart and he can trust his heart with. And when he senses that we are a little bit, you know, on the fence about how we feel about ourselves or the thoughts we think about ourselves, he's not going to feel exactly safe with us. You know, so often I hear from my clients, they say, well, he used to tell me I was so beautiful, and I would just like not believe him, you know, or something like that. And the guys will eventually get a little tired of that because they do want a woman that's confident, even if you have some insecurities, which we all do we not? and
Yeah.
and you're able to just go, you know, I've really always been insecure about my looks. I have two sisters that are supermodels, you know, and I feel like the ugly one, you know, and you're able to open up and you know, share really your fears. And that is what that man falls in love with you about. He falls in love with these icky things about you that you think they're icky. He thinks they're endearing. They make you human, and he can see your heart when you tell him these things.
Absolutely. I love that. And for me personally, I know, well, I know you too, Adrian, we're going to be sharing this in our 4-day intensive, but it took something pretty traumatic or dramatic, at least, to take me down and to get me to realize this, that men fall in love with you when you need their help. And hopefully we've learned so much what we each went through, that you guys don't have to go through something so drastic in order to really get that men, fall in love with you when you're vulnerable. And when I mean vulnerable, I don't mean like opening yourself up to getting hurt, because vulnerability is actually like the way to protect yourself most seriously. I've talked about before, because your intuition kicks in when your energy's open and you're just totally like out there for the world to see. Your intuition kicks in, so you can really get a good sense of who this man is and what his intentions are, rather than being up in your head and building these walls around you, which we typically tend to do, especially if we're feeling really attracted to a guy or triggered. So this is absolutely the way to go. And I would love to jump into some questions, Adrian, if you'd like. And if you're everyone joining, feel free to type in questions and comments. We love hearing from you. The first one I got was in your group, Everhart Love Academy,
Oh,
and which, by the way, go join our Adrian's amazing Facebook group. That we post so much free stuff in there, and just it's a great community. So it was. Let me see if I can pull it up. What does it mean when a man says, "Don't depend on me"? I thought that was a great question.
yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Adrian.
Yeah, I think I maybe got emailed the same one. He said, "You can't depend on me." So there are just kind of a time to listen to a man and a time to not listen to a man. And I would say that this is one of those times where you listen to a man. If a man is telling you, "Look, I'm just looking for friendship right now," or "Look, I want to get married one day, but I don't know, and I don't really know. I can't really have a girlfriend right now. You can't depend on me." Believe him. Just believe
Mm-hmm.
him and say, "Oh, okay." And then where you go and what you do is up to you. I think so often we get so invested and triggered by the man who turns his back to us, and the man who says, "I can't do that." And we get really triggered by that type of guy. And then later we find out, like, he was never that into me. He was never whatever. And men will really stay in a relationship out of convenience. Sometimes women do too. But, men will be like, "She's here. She's right now. She texts me all the time. She's available, but you can't depend on me." So listen to that man and do what feels good and right for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I once had a man, I may have talked about this in another video, where when we were friends, and I wasn't really that into him or attracted to him at all. But every time I was dating someone else or in a relationship, he was like, soulmate. We were made for each other. I want you to have my babies, like all this crazy stuff. And then
Of
the
course.
minute I was single, right? The minute I was single and I actually kind of fell for him, oh, all of a sudden I can't, don't depend on me. I can't do relationship. I'm not interested in a relationship right now. And then you better believe the minute I started dating someone else, he was all crazy about me again.
Yeah.
And this is just, he's a nice guy. Nothing wrong with him at all. It's just some men only have a certain capacity to do relationship. If you're in a relationship with this guy, I don't know the details of this situation, but it could mean like, don't depend on me for your happiness. Like, to me, it sounds like, don't wait for me don't wait for me to make a plan. Go make your own plans kind of energy. So it just depends on the situation. Either he's a man who's not interested in doing a relationship, or he's someone who, really needs someone who's independent and doesn't want you to depend on him for your happiness, which is kind of all men in general. Just depends on the degree. I mean, there's a spectrum of this. So if you're watching, feel free to type in any questions. I think she was in a different time zone,
And I
though.
see
So
another question that just
joining.
popped up. Now, this particular person, you're asking about how do you change your vibe? I just keep building huge friendships. Um, uh, and how do you change this with my body language? Okay, so I follow you on Facebook. I get your updates, and so my my thing for you, because I've gotten to see you in my feed a few times, would be this: you've got to get some more feminine energy around you, because you're in a growth place of your life right now, where you are very set on getting your physical, I think you're bodybuilding. I think you're big into nutrition and things like this, and you can end up having buddies that want to just hang out and chill with you and soak up some of that masculine vibe. Not that exercise can't be a feminine thing, it can, but I want you to balance some of that with some exercises and some things that are just totally feminine, like, Zumba or a dance class. And you got to balance that feminine. And I know if you're living in the gym a lot, it's easy to walk around wearing the gym clothes. That they're really not, they're really nice these days. I have to say, they're like $100 pants for these clothes. But I want you to just try to find a way to get more of a feminine vibe into what you're doing. It could be a headband. It could be pink, a little pink scarf. You want to add some color that you're just not in athletic wear. That's the first place I would start with you. And then body language, of course, you want to have your shoulders down. You want to be in a relaxed place. And, if men know that you're available, if they see you as that girl that they can ask out on a date, instead of like, oh, we're going to go hit the gym together or go run together. Not that you can't run with a guy, you can, but you got to start building it as it's going into a relationship, instead of it really being like, he's my workout buddy. And I don't know if he's your workout buddy or not, but you get what I'm saying. If based on just what I've seen you, if I were to look over your profile and things like that, that's what I would recommend for you.
I love that. I love it. And with body language, yeah, I don't know anything about the situation, but always leaning back. Just everyone, just do it. Lean back. When we're doing these videos, we're very much in our boy energy, like talking and teaching. And I know, but what you want to do, so then you guys can all be in your feminine energy, which is awesome. So everyone, try it right now. Just physically lean back. Imagine like unzipping your heart, right? Drop your shoulders and just completely kind of surrender to the moment. That is huge. A lot of times, just making these little shifts on the outside will change how you feel on the inside. Then you're like exuding this feminine vibe. So body language is a huge thing. And also make sure your energy's open to the whole world, no matter what you're doing. It can be easy to get into looking down, closing yourself off. So you want to lean back, keep your energy open, always, just in all situations.
And just two things I want to mention as everybody's joining. We have about 5 spots left in this class. And this class is a 4-day intensive. It spans over a week. And this is a little preview of what you get in class. We go a lot deeper. We're a lot more specific. We stay on a class guideline, but we take your questions during class and we take your questions after class. So it's very affordable. We've got 5 seats left. We went ahead, we sold out so quickly, we went ahead and just kept the pricing at $149. So it starts this Sunday. If you head over to everheartcoaching.com/datingunzipped, that's where you can sign up for the class. But we only have a few spots left. But we still love doing these Facebook Lives. This is still something we love to continue to do, just to get to know you all. And we have a community set up for you over at Love Academy, where you can join and be part of that as well.
Yeah, this is going to be our last one for a while, I imagine, because we're going to be focusing on our intensive. So if you have questions for us, feel free to get them in now. She said, love this. Oh, yay, I'm glad that was helpful. Someone said, just divorced a man like that. It hurt so bad. I'm wiser, not giving up on Mr. Right. Yay, I love hearing that. Yes, I hope you're joining us too. We can help you really get on the right track. At the gym, I wear my earrings, sparkly hairpin, tiny necklace. I walk to the gym in a Hawaii dress. Oh, that is awesome. I love it. Thanks so much, beautiful. It's hard to stay there at times, leaning back. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That's why it's so important to practice practice, practice, practice. Practice when you're around people you're not attracted to. That's the easiest way to do that. If a man shows up and you're like really attracted to him, it's going to be hard because instinctively what we want to do is the opposite of space and softness. We want to lean forward and we want to shut down, close ourselves off emotionally and shut down. So this is completely the opposite of what we instinctively want to do. So you have to practice with women and children, or just when you're by yourself even, and kind of build that muscle. Then it'll be much easier when a guy comes along that you're really excited about.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
great
Remember,
question.
this is about being in your body. It's about being in your body. Don't even think of it so much as masculine energy and feminine energy. Just be in your body. Know what you're feeling. What are the sensations you're having? What are you really, really, truly feeling? Because I ask my clients during a session, I go, okay, what are you feeling? And they're like, and I can hear they're up here. I can hear that they're upstairs. And what you're feeling is somewhere in here, and it's usually succinct and short and to the point. That's your gut talking. Your head has talking when it goes like, and it has to think. So
Absolutely.
this is about feeling. So I had a question. Sorry, someone else had a question about leaning back, and she said that she's occasionally Skyping with this man. They're texting sometimes, but she's leaning back and letting him do most of the contact. And so he'll say things like, hey, I thought I lost you, and hey, stranger, where have you been? And I just want to talk a little bit about leaning back. It doesn't mean you can't ever text a man. It doesn't mean you can't ever do it. You can actually check in with a feeling statement. I don't suggest doing it more than about once every 2-3 days. Even with my guy, I don't even bug him on text unless I really need to, because he's just always in pursuit of me that way, and that feels good, and I like him to be in charge of that. So remember, you can lean forward from time to time and just give a feeling statement. Just be sure you don't have an outcome attached to that message you're sending.
An agenda. A lot of times I hear from women who lean forward and then they go, oh, I'm disappointed that I didn't get the same sort of energy back from him. So that's a big clue that you just had a little bit of an agenda or expectation, and just reel it back in the next time. So great. Oh, something happened. Your screen froze. Oh, wait. Oh, there you are.
I don't know what happened. The comments went away.
Oh, yeah. I'm just scrolling through. Did you have a question sent to you personally?
I did. I had a couple of them sent to me. So this young lady asked several questions. And by the way, we have our contest winner announcement coming up soon too. Or we're about halfway through. Do you want me to announce it now?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we had a little contest over at everheartcoaching.com/dating-unzipped. You get your little freebie. This is a great, great freebie with 10 steps that Helene and I wrote in there. They give you a great overview, and you got entered into a contest. So Gail B was the one that I picked out of the Excel document, and her email address ends in .za. I don't know what that means, but you're the winner. You're going to get a book from myself and Helena. So congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. And hey, the report is still free. It's click the link in the title of this video. It's still free. 10 steps to attract and awaken masculine men. So go ahead and sign up for that. It's a great free report, and gotten a lot of really good feedback on that. Someone just said, I can't wait for the class. We're so excited. It starts on Sunday, this Sunday the 15th. So if anyone's interested, be sure to sign up soon. Okay, let's get to the questions that were sent to you, and then I see another one coming in here too.
It says both of you discussed circular dating. So we call it quantum dating. At least I do, because it just means that you're just until there's an offer on the table, you're keeping your options open. My only deviation from this is that if you are over 30, 35, I think the game changes a little bit, and you'll at some point, I think it's better to go ahead. If a man says, look, I want to be with you and only you, I think it's okay to give him about 3 or 4 months, see where it goes, because I think the end result is the same. So you can have that one guy, you can give him 3-4 months of exclusivity, and you can see where it goes, or you can say, no, I'm going to keep circular dating until there's an offer on the table. I just don't like how that feels in all situations. In some situations, it works because you start dating, and really, like 5th date, guys are like, you're mine now. You're mine. Where were you at? They start getting very ownership, very protective. And then 3-4 months down the road, they disappear on you. Okay. So I'm talking about a man that is really committed. He's been there. He's been showing up for dates. Okay. So that is the one that it's okay to go ahead and commit to dating him exclusively, as long as your needs are getting met. Your needs are getting met.
Yeah.
And she said, do I stop quantum dating when I get proposed to? What would you say, Helena?
Absolutely. And I was just going to add, even before that, if a man's doing everything right, so if you don't like what's going on, don't glue yourself to it. If a man's only seeing you once a week or once every couple weeks, and he doesn't want to worry about competition, he wants you all to himself, and that's not enough for you, then no, absolutely, keep dating. Don't get stuck on someone who's not fully giving you everything that you want, just freely. And that commitment is on the table that you're looking for. But if he is, and you want to try giving him an exclusive shot, go for it. If it's been a few months, and you can still do that without getting so invested to the point where if he makes a decision, like breaking it off, you're not going to be devastated. It depends on the situation. We can help you through all of this once we kind of get to know the situation a little better.
Show you. It's a little more intricate. She asked a couple questions. I said, we'll just get to them as we can. She says, what do you recommend I do before I go on a date, because I'm so nervous? So one of the things that we teach you is that when you're in your body, even if you're nervous, you're able to be okay with it. You're able to accept that part of you that is nervous, and you use it. Okay, you use it. And instead of trying to go, I got to make sure I'm not nervous, and oh my God, I got to make sure that I am just perfect. We don't want you to be. Another thing is, don't invest too much into a date. Fly by the seat of your pants. I talk about my first date with my husband, Jeff, and I forgot about it. I came home, I checked his message, and he was on his way to the place we were meeting. I ran a wet comb through my hair. I put on a new shirt, lip gloss, and I was out the door. So how invested was I? Not much. So the less you're invested, the less it's like, oh, I'm meeting a man for dinner. Don't do it. Go on 20, 30 minute coffee dates, or just meet for a quick drink, or meet for lunch at a little cafe. Do something that's just really light and easy instead of meeting for dinner. Dinner is way too much pressure to sit across from someone. I once had to sit in a movie theater with this total weird guy who had his ice cold hand on my shoulder the whole time, looking at me instead of looking at the movie. Okay? Don't put yourself in that situation for a first date. Don't do it, ladies. Keep the dates easy so you can just get through them. Practice your tools. You show up and you go, I'm feeling kind of nervous. I haven't been on a date in 3.5. It's okay. That's what you're feeling. And if he rejects you for it, pass. Just keep passing. Yeah. The right guy is going to love you for that comment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Let him see you feel shaky and nervous. Absolutely. Men love that. That's a huge compliment to them. The masculine energy man's not going to reject you for that. Absolutely. I see another question coming in. Can friends turn to lovers? Great question. Okay. We as women have this thing where we can talk ourselves into and out of being attracted to someone, or even really liking someone. If you've ever had the experience where you weren't really attracted to a guy at first, but then you found out he had a great personality, or he was really like ambitious, and that's attractive to you, and you grew to feel those feelings of attraction over time, we can do that as women. We can talk ourselves in and out of things. Men, it's not like that. So if he was attracted to you and interested in you at the beginning, and you're like, no, let's just be friends, yeah, absolutely. You guys friends can turn to lovers. But if he was never interested to begin with, I wouldn't waste your time. There's nothing you can say or do to get a man into you who's not already totally feeling it from the beginning. That's my opinion on that. Adrian, what do you think?
You know, I hate to say it, and I think anything is possible, but
Mm-hmm.
in my circumstances and in my dating my coaching experience, it just somehow doesn't seem to ever really work out. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
having guy friends that I was like, okay, I've just got to tell you this. I'm like feeling this way for you. And they're totally flattered. They still want to hang out with you. They might even sleep with you. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
once he sees you as that friend. So going back to the young lady who said, I keep making guy friends. You got to change up your vibe. I'm not here to hang out with the boys. Are we on a date? This feels like a
Yeah.
date. This is feeling kind of like a date to me. I've always been your friend, but I'm not interested in being just friends. You
Right.
got to have
Start
boundaries.
off. Yeah, but if he's been attracted to you and interested the whole time, and you've just been kind of putting him off, yes, that can
Oh
work.
yeah.
Once you do what Adrian said and switch it up a little bit. Someone else said, "What do you mean by checking in with a feeling statement? Checking in with how you're feeling? Is that what you mean?" That is getting out of your head and into your body, basically, out of your masculine energy into your feminine energy. So you can all do it right now. So many of us have no idea what we're feeling. Oh, I think, you know what? I think she's talking about texting a guy, checking in, texting a guy, leaning forward with a feeling statement. Adrian, I think, did you talk about that
Yeah,
at the beginning
so
of this video?
that would be something like, oh, I'm feeling so excited today. I went for a walk in the park at lunch, and the brisk autumn air was just rushing past my face. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little piece of my heart. I'm sending you a little
Yeah.
piece of my heart. And he might just gobble it up. He might just like not even care. You're gonna connect with a man's heart. The very best chances to connect with a man's heart are that
Mm-hmm.
way. But you can't keep
Yeah.
doing it like you're trying to get something to happen. The guy will
Yeah.
know. You got to make it authentic. So I've got a new question. I've got a question here, if
Okay.
that's okay. So this is someone who's already in our class with us. She's already signed up, and we've had so many lovely ladies sign up. If anybody's interested, the class, I know we've just had some new people join in. The class runs for 4 days. It's 100, is it 149 or 147? I forget.
I think 7.
47, it's 147. You get Helene and I for 4 days of learning, Q&A before and after and during class. Plus, we're going to teach you all the steps and tools to connecting to a man's heart deeply. A lot of people hear so much about vulnerability and why it's important, and you've got to love yourself. We hear it everywhere. We don't really know what it means. Well, I am honest.
Mm-hmm.
I told him it pissed me off. Well, I do tell him how I feel. I don't like that. I don't like it when a man treats me. That's not vulnerability. It's kind of so. So we're going to teach you how to do this in a way that is something that really, from the time we're little girls, we actually learn how to stuff down. And nobody's done anything wrong. There's no harm by it. Our parents just wanted us to survive in this world. And, they taught us, you have to kind of hide a little bit about what you're feeling. You have to have a little bit of a poker face in this world. It does not work in a relationship with a man. So we're going to teach you how to make that shift and how to make just being in your body and feeling part of an everyday experience. Yet you also have boundaries. All right. That's the balance in this. You're not wide open giving someone all of your heart, your information, everything. It's also about boundaries and balancing. So we teach you
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, and this is advanced, very advanced. It's not about just saying I feel, then just whatever afterwards. That usually doesn't work. And in terms of the question about checking in with a feeling statement, you have to make sure you don't have an expectation. So before you do that, I love how you gave some great examples, Adrian. Before you send anything, ask yourself, what am I hoping will happen? Or how will I feel if I don't get the response I'm hoping for? And if you can answer that, like, oh, well, I'm hoping he says this, or I'm hoping he asks me out, it's a big clue to not do what you were about to do, because you have that expectation or an agenda, which a man will pick up on.
Oh, that's
so it's very
that's so good, because you taught me that one so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I really want to send him a text and say this. And you're like, well, ask yourself, what is the outcome I'm trying to have? Well, I mean, ultimately, we
Mhm.
always want the guy to appreciate what he's saying to you. But if I'm like, well, I hope he understands that I'm not free I'm busy, I'm available this weekend. It would be really great to hang out. You've got an agenda. All right. So this class member asked the question, I'm currently in a relationship with a difficult man. Aren't we all? And there's always something going on. I don't feel very cared for or protected by him. Every time I say a script about how I feel about something that's going on and that didn't feel good, he starts defending himself and getting angry. He doesn't like it. And when I say the script of what's going on, what feels good, he doesn't say anything. So you're telling him what feels bad. He's giving you shutdown behavior, shut you down, stop talking. I don't want to hear about it. And then when you tell him how something good does feel, well, he doesn't say anything. So first thing, you're in the right class with us.
Yeah.
You're in the right class with us. So this is just where we need to go a little deeper. And, this isn't about, hey, give me something after I say this to you. This is about, this is my authentic self. And whether you give me a response or not matters not. Wouldn't you agree, Helena?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to like sink my teeth into that situation and get personal details. Yeah, absolutely. So basically it's like the point of expressing these feeling statements is not to get a man to do what you want. It's a little bit of a misconception. It's to see if he's capable. See if he's capable, if he's interested in your feelings, to see if he takes them into account when he's making decisions and doing planning and doing the masculine energy job in the relationship. So it's just to see if he's even capable. And a lot of times, a man like this isn't. And so you're going to be able to realize that right away by just continuing to do it. But you have to make sure you're doing it correctly. So that's where we come in and we can help you with all of these specific scenarios.
Yeah, but whether or not you're dating him, you said you're in a relationship with him. So this goes back to kind of square one for me, which is don't get yourself in a relationship with a man that it isn't what you want. I have clients that are
Yeah.
like, I'm in a relationship with a long distance guy, and it's always been that way. So how are we going to build and grow if its start is jumping off places, a place where you're not really getting your needs met? How are we going to? So you can improve that, and a lot of times you've been married for years, you've been dating a guy for years and years, and you've just had this little decline, right? So there's
Yeah.
ways to turn that around, and there are definitely ways you can learn how to open up, get really clear about what it is you really want in a partner, and that's something we're going to teach you in the intensive.
Yeah, great. I love everything you said there. Someone said, I'm considering using It's Just Lunch, the dating service. They set up dates, pre-screen them. I'm hoping to meet higher quality men. Do you know if it's a good service? You know what? I had a client just get engaged to a guy who she met on It's Just Lunch, and he's really, really successful, high quality, great guy. Never been married. They're both in their 50s. He'd never been married, but I coached her along, and she was worried that he wasn't the commitment-minded type. And it turns out he was, once she kind of turned her patterns around. So she had a lot of success. I've heard some people say they didn't have much success with it. So it really depends. But when you're armed with these tools, it will give you your best shot. I think that one might be a little expensive. Adrian, do you know anything about It's Just Lunch? But I do have a client who met a great guy, and they're getting married very soon.
Yeah,
through that
It's Just
service.
Lunch.
Oh.
It depends on what city you're in.
Yeah.
But I think that sort of dating app is the wave of the future, because so many of the other dating apps is just about like chatting, texting. Are we even going to meet for a date anytime soon? And I just want everybody to know loud and clear: men love to chat and text with a woman. They'll never meet you, and they'll chat and text with you through all sorts of situations, and you just don't want to be that girl. If you're the girl that's looking for a relationship and you're looking to date and practice your tools, you've got to go on actual dates. All the texting, all the phone calls, all the FaceTime really don't really mean very much if you can't actually sit in front of him and go on a date. So I like apps like Tinder, where you can meet a person very quickly for coffee and just let it evolve into more if that's what it's going to be. But if not, you pack your little toolbox, you go on the date, you practice your tools. And I call this practicing on the non applicable man. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a man you're not really that interested in. You know it. Sometimes you'll get surprised when you go on a date. You're like, wow, he was like really nice. His profile photos were terrible, but he was like attractive. So I would just, when you go out and you meet these men, we want you to be able to practice your tools, and we want you to be able to connect with his heart in an authentic way. So when the right guy does come along, you do not have to freak out. You'll
Mm-hmm.
be well
Yeah.
prepared. You'll be armed, like Helena says.
Yes, absolutely. Someone said, so if you're already friends slash lovers, is it possible to have more? Do you mean more like a relationship? If you're like in a friends with benefits situation, that's really tricky. You have to cut. You don't want to be sleeping with a man, giving him all the benefits of a relationship if he's not interested in one, or if he's not dating you and treating you how you want to be treated in a relationship. That's a very tricky situation. Adrian, I'm sure you'd agree,
Well,
right?
yeah, I have actually a formula for that, and that is
Mhm.
you got to end the old relationship because that's
Yeah,
not what you want. So you have to end it,
exactly.
and then let about 2 or 3 months go by, um, where you just kind of get your clarity back about who you are and what it is you want. Again, this is what we do in the intensive. Clarity is
Yeah.
so much of this. You cannot find the man you're meant to be with if you keep hanging around guys that aren't the right guy for you. They're
Yeah.
just not.
You want to start dating too. Start dating. Let men take you out. Let them take you to coffee and dinner, and get that male energy coming towards you. That's one piece of Adrian's man magnet triangle, right? That
Yeah.
masculine energy.
Have lots of
Yeah.
male energy coming at you. And this
Mm-hmm.
means even when you're married. Someone had said another question. They said, "Well, you mentioned pausing a little bit before you reach for his you reach for his hand or things like this." And when my husband comes home, I don't really greet him at the door. I let him kind of come find me. Sometimes I do, but most of the time he comes and finds me because I'm busy and I'm in my own little world. So
Mm-hmm.
even when you're married, yeah, you don't want to just cling on to them every time they touch you. You want to, give that man space to pursue you. So remember, there's leaning back, and then you give him space to pursue you. That's what you want to do. If you lean forward, he just goes away. But when you lean back, you give him that space to come and hunt
Yeah,
you down.
that can be hard. And yeah, we talked about last time. That's my natural tendency, is to want that affection, and so it can be hard once you're in a relationship, but it's important to keep it going, keep practicing. It doesn't end once you have the guy. You have to keep working with this. Okay, so let's see. You use that phrase with texting. Thanks. Let's see. You girls are so awesome. Oh, thank you. Sweet. I'm tired of chatting, texting trap. Yes, absolutely. Someone asked, Tinder's not just for hookups. I've never looked at it. Adrian, what's your experience with clients
Yeah,
using
so
Tinder?
the first thing I want you to put in your dating profile is I've had 2 marriage proposals come off of Tinder for my clients. So
Wow.
it absolutely happens. It's just another way to meet people. So you want the first line in your profile to be, I've heard Tinder is, or no, I'm not interested in a hookup, but I heard Tinder is a great place to meet some nice guys.
Mhm. Exactly. I love it. I love it. Lots of thank yous. Yes, need clarity. Clarity, yeah, very important. You can't, a lot of people say they know what they don't want. Like, okay, I don't want men to just text me endlessly. I don't want men who are flaky or who are liars or cheaters. And you can't really create from that because you're coming from a place of lack. So this is what so much of this is about your mindset, and not making decisions from a place of lack, making decisions from a place of abundance, and getting that in your vibe. Like, you have every option in the world available to you. Most women don't feel that way, but you have to really get that down. So we're going to teach you exactly how to do that.
Yeah. And another thing that we're going to be sharing in the 4-day intensive is Helena and I each had our own challenges, didn't we, Helena?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that a little bit in the beginning of this video. For those of you joining, yeah, very physical, actual like physical disability type. Like I would put it in that category for myself at least. So we're going to be talking about that where there's just no reason why you can't find the love and relationship that you want, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. If we can do it, anybody can,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I was disfigured. Helena was
Mm-hmm.
potentially immobile, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to share this with you. And we're opening up our own vulnerabilities to you because we were dating in these very dark times and trying to feel good about ourselves and trying to find out,
Mm-hmm.
how do I date with this thing I had? Okay. And I think you'll gain a lot from the tools we use because most of you probably are not going through that sort of extreme thing when you're dating. In fact, I talk to people who they're like, "Well, I'm going to date once I lose 25 pounds, or I
Right.
date once it's been a year and I'm over my ex." That's actually not what you want to do. I equate that to you saying, "You know what? I'm going to quit working for a year and then I'm going to go back to work and I'm going to instantly be able to keep up with all the technology." You're not.
Right.
The technology will have passed you by. So that's why it's so important to keep dating and keep practicing these tools because unlike technology, these tools don't really change. The relationship between men and women doesn't really change for centuries and centuries, So
Yeah. Yeah.
you just got to
Men's
learn.
brains are the same way. A lot of people go, oh, well, leaning back, feminine energy, isn't that kind of like archaic?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, because technology changes, times change, but men's brains are hardwired the same way they've been hardwired since like the beginning of time. Men value what they have to work for in a lot of ways, just like we do, but we're going to show you how this can be easy and not full of obstacles and struggle and pain and uncertainty, so yeah, that's why it's really important that you can be strong, independent, successful. That is all amazing, and that's going to help you a lot. But you want to, I think Adrienne always talks about how when one side's inflated, a lot of times another part of our life is deflated. So we're going to help you balance that and actually inflate all parts of yourself so you can really have your best self out there in the world and attract like the best possible match for you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, does
Mm-hmm.
anyone have
Okay.
questions about the class? I can't see the, oh, there they are. Oh, does anyone have
Looking
questions about the intensive? How it works, how it's structured, topics
let's
we're
see.
going to be
Someone said,
speaking about?
looking forward to class. So hard to let go of that love, wanting it returned, having that false hope, taking the crumbs, trying to move forward, but fall back often. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like the most crumb taking person ever because what's happening is likely what we'll get to know you in class and get into your situation, but you're chemically bonded to this man or a certain type of man who's just not able to give it to you or not willing to. And so we can get really, really attached and bonded. I know Adrienne talks about it activates this part of our DNA where we get triggered and we want to sort of go after that kind of man and stay connected to him even when we're not getting everything we want in the relationship. So I'm so glad you're joining us. We will help you turn all of that around. I have been there. We can definitely help you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes you're accepting crumbs from a guy that, so, I mean, we've all heard the thing about why do men love bitches? That was a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. Why do men? Are you familiar with that book?
Yeah, why men marry bitches. There's the whole
Yeah.
series, I think.
So I have a theory that it's sort of like the opposite of when a man's throwing us crumbs. It's that it kind of when you start pulling a thread from a sweater, it just starts to unravel you very slowly that sometimes you don't notice. And most of us, I would say all of us, have self-esteem problems already. We already have insecurities, fears, doubts, things we're not sure about. So when we align ourselves with that person and they sometimes begin to pull that little thread and we begin to unravel, we just get so hungry and malnourished for love that we can only see them as the person who can feed us and take care of us. And I talk about ego states a lot and how, fear is a very child based feeling. So if you're in a situation where this is the only man that can make me happy, you're really going to this place where your child is running the show. She's running the show because she's trying to fix relationships that went wrong in the past. And we can actually teach you a tool about how to step in. You're the driving the bus. You, the adult, are the one in charge. This child cannot pick partnerships for you, and she cannot have a child cannot have adult relationships with men. Does that make sense for a lot of you out there? So when you're really triggered by a man and you're wanting to keep scraping up crumbs, you're basically feeding a low self-esteem. You're feeding some part of you that doesn't feel worthy anymore. So why do
Yeah.
men marry bitches? A lot of times I think it's because the man already has a low self-esteem and he meets a woman that is just so bossy and so on top of him and so under her thumb that his self-esteem suffers for it and he doesn't know any different. Now men like that eventually get angry and walk out at some point in time.
Right, right, right. But yeah, I totally relate to what you're saying. It's like for myself, when I was going through what you're going through, and it was like there was this part of me on an unconscious level thinking like, okay, if I can get this man to give me some more crumbs, or if I could get him to love me the way I need to be loved, that will mean that I'm worthwhile. That will mean that I'm lovable and that I'm worthy of a great relationship, all of those things. And so it was like a dog chasing its tail. It's like you're running after that love you want so badly and you just never catch it, right? And that's like where you feel like you're on this hamster wheel. So you have to learn how to give that love and approval and acceptance to yourself, not staying attached to a man and trying to get it from him or make something happen when a man's just not freely giving that to you. So I'm so glad you're joining us. We're totally going to help you turn this whole thing around. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I don't see any more questions, Adrian. Do you?
No, and I don't know how we're doing on time, but I've got
Oh gosh, about an hour actually. The time just flies by. So we go ahead and close out. And Adrian, anything else you want to add? Anything about the intensive? We have 5 spots left, right? I don't know if anyone's joined during this video or not, but we definitely have. Oh, let's see. It's okay. I have my heart set on finding a man that's not older than me, maybe up to 5 years younger. I feel guilty asking for what I want. I was a widow, want to go skiing again. Someone else said, thank you. Yeah, if you have a desire for something specific, there is a way for you to get it. It's absolutely possible, as long as you're not having this like this huge list of external qualities that are just so unrealistic, but if you want something like that, it is absolutely possible. It can be a simple, easy thing for you to do once you like remove what's blocking that kind of guy from coming towards you. Right? Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, so our intensive starts Sunday at it'll be at this time, 12 p.m. Pacific, I believe, 3 o'clock Eastern, and we're really excited. It's going to be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the following Sunday. So you'll get a whole week with us. You get access to our library of ebooks and PDFs and meditations and all kinds of great stuff. Once you join, you can have that like right now. You can have it today for the weekend, for today and tomorrow, and then we start on Sunday. So if you're going to join, I'd encourage you to do it sooner rather than later, so you can get started with some of this material, then bring your questions to the first class on Sunday. Adrian, anything you'd like to add?
Well, if you can't attend all of the classes or some of the classes, it's okay, because we're still going to answer your questions. Just email us. Just email myself or Helena. I don't know of anyone who can attend all the classes. Right. Everyone that's joined has sent me an email and says, well, I might be late, but you get them recorded. You'll have them forever. They're your own personal link. And, I have I have recordings with Helena and I, and recordings with Rory and I, and Coach Dominique from like years ago that I still listen to. I still find value in these. So this is really for those of you who want to take it to that next level. We have only a couple of spots left in class, and we already had this scheduled, so we didn't want to, not do our Facebook Live, but We would love to have a few more of you join class if you want to, and we'll take you to that next place where you're going to really feel that difference of what we're speaking about, where you really feel like you're connecting with a man. You don't have to do anything to make that man love you. This is going to be a very organic, authentic thing, and it is so relaxing. It is so relaxing to not have to work in a relationship. It is so nice.
Absolutely. Someone just said, what about a man who says, don't depend on me? Oh, yes, we answered your question.
Go back to the beginning.
Very first we answered. So I know we've been doing this for like an hour, but yeah, that was the first question. Once I post this, just go ahead and watch the video. It's like right towards the beginning, and we went really in depth. So hopefully that will be helpful for you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. We hope to see you in class. Yes. It's going to be so much fun. We have a good time in there, and everybody gets to chat at the same time, so it's just so much fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just like you're hanging out with us for a few hours every day. It's really, really fun. So, okay, well, we'll go ahead and close out. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday. Yes, we'll see you Sunday. We're so excited. Email us if you have any questions, and I'll go ahead and post this video like within the next couple minutes once it's ready. Okay, bye, everybody.
See you.